moving on. I believe I'm fairly close to being done with this area. Might be a little bit more to find and explore, but I don't know. This might actually be the point where Yep, it's the point where I decide to start moving. Of course, I can't jump on top of there because there's invisible walls and bullshit everywhere. Thankfully, there's enough exploring to give me a little more tech for some future upgrades. Meanwhile, I'll just get a pathetically easy sneak attack on these guys because they're completely blind. They're blind until they're on fire. Then they see, well, what you would expect them to see. Whereas since this AK-47 future version thingamabobber somehow has zero recoil, this sort of shooting is incredibly easy. Somewhere around here I start complaining about the visual quality of this area. I think it started right about now, right before that dude came up and became a problem. And it's... well, let me get back to a point where I can actually see it. Yeah, here, the draw distance on the specular mapping is just fucking pathetic. Look how close it is that it shuts off. And I honestly can't really see it myself that much right now. That's because the preview screen for Vegas is running at 1280 by 720 on a fairly small monitor. Basically the same situation I was in when I was doing Metro 2033 and a few other widescreen things back in the day. Like, I think Unreal 2 was the same situation. Just rendering, you know, 1280 by 720 on a 1280 by 1024 screen. So basically, it's just a lot smaller view space than it would be when I was playing on the main monitor. Nothing really I can do here. I mean, I could put the preview screen on the main monitor, but then I lose all access to controls. And I kind of need that to stop the recording for, well, various things. Anyway, I continue blathering on about random shit just to fill time here. Because this is one situation where I decided, let's try the easy mode thing. I guess the only saving grace there is that so many other things in this game prevent you from jumping on top of them. Or there are equally stupid reasons, so it didn't immediately spring to mind, hey, jump on the boxes. So anyway, invisible wall prevents me from standing on that ledge, which forces me into doing another puzzle. Because shitty game designers. That's about it. That's about it, really. I spent a little bit of time just looking around the area here. Because, well, exploration. So I figured out quickly enough that I would need this on this side for something, but well, no, initially I decided to see if there would be some sort of physics-related thing. Like, you bring the box back and it bends the fences so that you can get in. I also thought initially that possibly what I would need to do is go through a tunnel down, or something down in that hole there. But it's a dead end. And there's a musical cue there that's, I believe, prompted me saying that this game really does remind me of Rage. Well, repeating it, since I think I said it in the first session. It's got shitty textures. Really shitty textures. Looks visually unimpressive. Has similar musical cues. And the movement feels quite similar, albeit much slower. Here I'm just pointing out again that I could have just done this real simply if it hadn't prevented me from standing on that little ledge. And here we have yet another massive pile of supplies, which would be pretty handy, if not for the fact that, well, very soon you're forced to leave an area where this stuff is accessible. Here, I'm looking for a note because I saw the prompt. To Colonel Ivanov, Weapons Division, from Sergeant Chertok, Base Security. Colonel Ivan, I regret to inform you that Dr. Korkin, the head of your teleportation research team, was found murdered in his apartment last night. What has me confused is how his assailant was able to enter the room. All the doors and windows are boarded up and nailed shut from the inside. We had to break down the door to get in. I will keep starting when any information is uncovered. Starting to think that there's something about this particular setup that I'm using for doing this post-op commentary that's giving me a headache rather than some sort of cold. Because I felt perfectly fine until I started doing this again. Volobirasov. Illegible, illegible, illegible. Don't trust Birasov. So, by this point I had figured pretty easily out what I needed to do to progress. I was just kind of stuck on that dialogue on the wall there. I was trying to comprehend what it was trying to say. But yeah, you just need to do this again. The hardest part of any of it being trying to fit this stupid thing through the hole there, which isn't even necessary because you can just pick it up over the fence. I just know next session I'm going back to DxTory, trying to figure out the way to record with that without it ruining frame rate, because I do not want to have to post-op any more commentary for this game. Or anything, for that matter. Well, I mean, it wouldn't... I don't think it would be so bad if I didn't need to look at a secondary screen to be able to read the notes. Yeah, here, I'm still trying to comprehend. But looking even closer, I just can't see it. I think with this one, it's mainly, you know, the bloom and HDR effects making it too bright and shiny right there. Yeah, here, once again... Well, actually, here I think I started complaining because I had just found out, obviously, that once again, a big cache of supplies is pointless because I didn't need it when I found it. And when I could potentially need it, I'm locked out of it. Because, once again, shitty game design. Right, so it's boss fight time. And of course, the patronizing fucking tutorial is going to tell you exactly how to play the boss fight. Because, you know, it's too much to... The average player is too fucking stupid to figure this out on their own. Or to figure out that, you know, they know how to use the power at this point. It's an interesting boss fight, and it doesn't stick with this same repeating pattern very long. Yeah, at this point I was just being snarky about it, just being fucking playing catch with them. Yeah, it's a decent enough boss fight, and it mixes things up pretty soon here. The only problem is it would be so much better if it wasn't so fucking patronizing. You won't know this, so I want to tell you that you ought to use Notepad 7 to use your telekinesis powers and throw the fuck off. I gotta look in the options again and see if they did include an option to shut off bullshit hints. And if so, if it's properly working. Because I know with Wolfenstein 2009, I actually managed to find myself a copy of the PC version through various means. And, yeah, simple enough. Shoot the glowy bit on its back at this point. And, I noticed in that game, the option wouldn't stick to disable gameplay hints. So I'll have to see if the same thing happened here. Who knows, maybe lightning struck twice with Raven Software sucking it up. I don't know, looking at this boss fight for a second time, it doesn't really seem that great. I mean, there are different ways that you fight the dude himself during it, so that's not bad. That's still quite interesting and fun. But just the really generic way that it throws in the whole nice throw. Yeah, laugh it up, buddy. The generic way how it throws in the random mooks during it just kind of
Captain Renko, over here.
It's not really much of an escort objective here. It's just kind of a run and vaguely follow along your AI partner.
Let's go.
Not that I'm complaining. This is
Of course. Hold them off for a bit, Renko. Damn it.
Can't I just fucking age it or knock it down with an impulse blast?
Let's go, Renko.
Also, things keep exploding. It's nice of you to just slide under there instantly while I have to wait for it to rise up. You are helpless. It's definitely an improvement over an actual... Apparently there was something freezing me there. Definitely an improvement over an actual escort mission. Of course, you use impulse and then a barrel to your side fucking explodes, which is loads of fun.
Come on, this way.
Get out of the way. Fucking A. Yeah, well, not really much to say here. I think I kind of covered this part extensively enough. Impulse doesn't seem to be too terribly damaging.
This way, Renko.
Right, I made it. Let's see, there's a shit ton of ammo and supplies here.
We made it inside the fence.
Yes, yes. One moment.
The fence is on. Ready for the elevator.
It's on the way.
Dr. Beresov, the power is out. Renko, we have to hold them off until Beresov gets the power restored.
Yep, it's a tower defense-like scenario.
The generators are gearing up. Renko, use the TMD to renew the power junctions on the fence. That should buy us some time.
So, well, it precisely is a tower defense. Huh. Right, well, I just wasted a little bit of time shooting here, but this is what you need to do. Basically, this entire sequence can be won, not by doing what I'm doing now, but by just constantly using the age tool of the TMD on each of these three panels in sequence as soon as you see an enemy either on that section of fence or near it. That's it. That's all you really need to do. You see, at first I'm not really doing it too well, which is why I have to use the gun at all for it. I think this is about the point where I really got the idea, and well, it's pretty trivial from there. In fact, forget trivial, it's monotonous. The music tries to keep everything, you know, exciting, precisely the way that the music in Rage does, but it's just... God, I'm gonna have to look at this. I'm gonna have to see if the music composer for this game is the same as the one for Rage, because it's got the exact same feeling to all the music here as it does there. Enjoy the monotony. This fight goes on for a fair bit longer, and it's the exact same thing.
It works. I just fixed it. The elevator should almost be there.
Come on, Renko. Let's get to the tower. This way, Renko. That was a nice bit of work down there, Renko.
My God, you haven't aged a day. Remarkable. You've undoubtedly figured out the timeline has been altered. Russia rules the world, and Demichev is the chancellor. Here, let me show you what happened to the world after you saved Demichev from the burning building. From the moment I invented the TMD, Demichev wanted it. He demanded I hand it over for him to use in his research. When I refused, he had me and everyone else who wouldn't cooperate labeled as traitors. If it weren't for you, I would have been killed along with everyone else. Demichev was obsessed with the power and possibilities of the Singularity. But a few months after it came online, there was a terrible accident. The Singularity exploded, killing thousands instantly. But they were the lucky ones. Those who survived were left to a fate worse than death. The E99 radiation mutated every living thing on the island, including humans. The island was quarantined and abandoned, but not before E99 had been effectively mass-produced and implemented in everything from microwaves and vehicles to weapons more powerful than America's atomic bomb. The heels of this success, Demichev was able to quickly rise through the party ranks, preaching all the while that Russia had a technological advantage it must use quickly and ruthlessly. And Premier Khrushchev agreed. Russia launched a preemptive strike against the United States, devastating its entire east coast with a single E99 bomb. Simultaneous attacks were also launched across Europe. Germany, France, Great Britain. None could stand against the E99 weapons of the USSR's troops. Within 6 months, the entire world was under Khrushchev's control. But not for long. Demichev used his growing number of supporters to oust Khrushchev and install himself as chancellor for life. So you see, the timeline has been altered, but it can be corrected, and the Singularity is the key. With it, Demichev rose to power, and the Soviet Union dominated the world.
If you destroy the Singularity in the past, history will correct itself.
But the only thing that can destroy the Singularity is something of equal power. The E99 bomb Khrushchev desired. There's one aboard a freighter that sunk in the harbor when the Singularity exploded. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Take that elevator down into the old rail line. From there, you'll have to travel to the docks. Catherine and I will do our best to help you.
Okay, so remember that thing that I mentioned 1, maybe 2 videos ago? This is where it starts to now make sense. See, this is the same timeline as the 1955 where I shot Demichev, killed him, and he fell out a window. And I rescued this Barracuda. Same timeline, same Barracuda, yet somehow somehow the 2010 here is still the 2010 where Demichev is world leader incarnate. This doesn't make any sense. Like, I killed him. Demichev is dead. He's dead. He fell out of a window after being perforated by high-caliber bullets. He's dead. How is he still the ruler? This time warp thing is not making any sense. Beresov's personal journal, entry 7. I have just returned from the research installation, installed monitors, and hid vials of refined E99 ore. It's been a long day. I just caught a tick. Time for a meal. The tick thing makes more sense after reading the earlier journals. For some reason, it took me a long time to read this originally. Right, so in typical fashion, I explore everything before going where I need to go.
Take the elevator, it leads to the old rail line.
And Beresov continues to say this over and over. It's at this point where I think that I lost recording because I didn't see the overlay, but it just was disabled for some reason. Entry 1. I had to lock my tower after the incident. The people were missing at the lower elevator, and the looks on their faces were not those of friends. Yeah, lazy. No animation on texture. This is shit. 0 out of 10. But yes, I don't know. I guess I pressed the keys to... I've discovered a network of cooling tunnels that interlink the island facilities and installations. These tunnels used to link up to underground caves where the initial E99 ore was discovered. Guess I must have accidentally hit the hotkey to disable the MSI Afterburner overlay, which is precisely what happened. Anyway, this stupid thing closes on me when I'm trying to actually use it. Beresov is doing his get out of here stalker shit, and I'm trying to upgrade. That's about as useful as putting all your points in swimming, I'm presuming, so I'm just giving myself some more health. And there isn't anything else that I can purchase at this time that I consider to be useful. Search and Destroy doesn't seem to be worth anything at all, because at this point, there's just... I'm finding it practically impossible to run out of ammo with any gun. So it's at this point I just start looking around back here. More supplies, more notes, more everything. Entry 2. Well now, I'm here in the tower with my rations fading away. Every so often a lone phase stick comes out from below, possibly looking for nest sites. You must cook them in boiling water in a small dish of my homemade anti-radiation, which consists of garlic, oregano, and a herb only grown here in Katorga which subsides radiation. Taste is not bad either. So you say. Same generic music. A friggin' teddy bear, and this note explains that. This bear belonged to my daughter. She never came with me to Katorga. She stayed with her mother on the mainland. By this time, she is all grown up. I wonder if I will ever see her again. If I do, I will bring the bear. But for now, he aids me with his experiments, and he's quite a good listener. I think I am enunciating these words quite a lot. The elevator will shut up. In preparation for the man from the future, I have set up special stations around the island to aid in defeating Demichev, who is already dead. I hope he finds them useful. Even though Demichev is already dead, he was killed in 1955. Also, Unreal Engine 1997. Built in a dude's garage, Tim Sweeney's garage. Guess what it does? Full, real-time reflections, flawlessly. 2010. with Unreal Engine 3, built in 2006 roughly. Mirrors and reflections are represented by a texture that looks like it was ripped from 1997. Progress. Technological progress.
Why don't you get on the elevator, Captain?
Why don't you shut the fuck up? Yeah. Here, I think I'm just looking around for more notes. I mistakenly thought that I had missed out on note number 3 somewhere around here, so I stick around a bit longer looking for it than necessary. Can't go this way, and conveniently there's an invisible wall that prevents you from going around to that side of the thing, which is fucking stupid. Let's see. Yes, this extra door here is where the last note or notes are. I wonder about the origins of the man from the future. How could it even be possible? When will he return? I must do what I can to ensure he's ready when he does arrive. I am off to my old research. Very interesting. So just destroy your safe, steal your shit. Look at a strange portrait. And throw a bottle around. Yeah, I think that was the last note. But just kind of hang around here, looking around for the other one. You know what? I think I'll actually just cut that. Alright, now we're on to where I actually needed to go, and where well, close to at least, where I decided to call it quits for the night. You'll see why. Also, goddamn, my mouth is getting dry. I'm gonna have to get myself a drink here. But I'll leave that for after this, since this is almost done. We shoot another glowing padlock. Very hidden. And while I'm at it, let's get an upgrade for the TMD. Now, yes, this is the one that's, well, the controls for it really scream console-itis, because rather than assigning it to a separate button, it reuses the same button that telekinesis uses. Hold num7 instead of pressing it. Let's see, if this wasn't such a port, it could have been thrown onto a different thing, thus nullifying the need to reuse keys. I decided to hold off on any sort of upgrading here because I didn't have enough kits to purchase one of the upgrades I needed. Thankfully, there's one right here, which is what I'm crawling towards. With my convenient stance indicator, because I couldn't tell I was crouched already. Anyway, here's another weapon tech. Or is this the only weapon tech I have now? I don't remember if I had one and was saving it, or if this is the only one I had. Okay, that explains it, basically. Yeah. I think it was just holding on to it because the upgrades I want are for the two weapons I've been using the entire game, pretty much. Shotgun and assault rifle. And the upgrades that I really want for them, conveniently, this explodes. I take no damage from it, conveniently. Oh hey, this is actually a lot like Far Cry 2. You get a full body first-person view for certain cutscenes and for certain sequences, but not for the majority of the game.
Are you alright?
Aging or impulsing, very effective. Right. Well, I think I show how effective the aging works. What was I going on about? Oh yeah, the upgrades. The only upgrades that I want right now are ones that require 2 upgrade packs, so that's why I was holding on to them. I think a problem I'll own up to with regards to this is I'm just gonna skip through the tutorial prompts because the vast, overwhelming majority of them have been totally useless, redundant information. Press W to move forward, basically. So the thing that I did notice was the aging. And it doesn't work. It's totally useless against swarms. Seeing the prompt again and noticing that it is actually useful, yeah, I can definitely see that I should have used Impulse. I was trying to slow him down with this, but that doesn't seem to do anything useful. Of course, every time I try to run for the stim pack here, it fails and I die. Just ridiculous swarms, and honestly, I think the only thing that would work in this situation would be to use the impulse attack and hope that I had enough charges left in it to, you know, not have to stand there and reload the impulse power. Was my gun just floating in the center of the screen for some reason? Yeah, basically, aging just makes their explodey sack inflate, and nah, useless. If they get remotely near you, they saw off pretty much all your health. Yeah, there's a fucking doom moment for you. Dead right in front of the health. So yeah, next session, I think I'll just cut off the recording when I'm done talking here, because it's more of this, and I'm already seeing the solution. Next session, I'll try the impulse. See what happens. Thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and see you next time in Singularity, which I really hope I can go back to the real-time commentary for.